fact, the last 4 times these two teams have faced off, Strasbourg have scored first in 3 of those 4. They've earned a reputation as a counter-attacking team, but they do have plenty of venom in their fangs up top. Strasbourg have scored first in choupo-moting, who's 2 goals already this season. 3 goals, rather, in 2 matches. That's as many as in the 22 games that he played last time out, and that form is keeping Mauro Icardi on the bench for the start of this one. Here's a look at the starting 11, and we'll begin with the home side as Thomas Tuchel makes 4 changes from that 2-0 win over Metz before the break. Keylor Navas makes his PSG debut, replacing Marcin Bukwa. Abdul Diallo takes over from Marquinhos in central defense, while Kurzawa gets his first start of the campaign in place of Juan Bernat, and Neymar making his season debut at the expense of the youngster Adil Auchiche.
Do not adjust your sets. That is Navas, the great Keylor Navas. Not at Real Madrid, but at PSG, and with 3 European Champions League trophies to his name. That is exactly what PSG are looking for, that experience, for him to bring that to the party, and that's what Thiago Silva will be looking for as captain of the team. And choupo-moting will probably say, hang on a sec, guys, why is all the focus on Neymar and everyone? I've scored 3 in 2 games. What about me?
Amory Delarue is the head official. Here's a look inside the VAR room. Jerome Miguel Gori in charge of VAR today. And again, they can review all goals, penalties, straight reds, and cases of mistaken identity. Thomas Tuchel getting ready to manage will be a season full of expectations in his second campaign at the helm of Paris. And Strasbourg under Thierry Loret, the man who engineered back-to-back promotions from the 3rd tier to the top flight for Strasbourg. Here's a look at Neymar Sr., and here's Neymar Jr.
Well, wish him good luck, Neymar. It's a player's right to change clubs, and he's not going to be liked for it, but he's not going to go and produce the goods.
Well, Thierry Loret making 2 changes from that 2-2 draw against Monaco before the break. Lamine Kone takes over from Dimitri Leonard in the 11, and that moves Mohamed Simakan from center back to right wing back. Well, Jean Bellegarde steps into center mid, and at the expense of the forward Lebo Motiba, who has to wait his turn on the bench.
Yeah, Lebo dropped from the match, the South African, and it's going to be a hard-working team. It has to be for Strasbourg to even begin to contain Neymar and company. They're going to have to work their socks off here, because he's got a point to prove. He's got to win these fans back, and the only way is by producing a wonderful performance.
Final checks for Amory Delarue. And the ball rolls in his sun-soaked Paris. Match day 5 in the French Ligue 1 underway with PSG in their 3rd kit today. The white shirts for the French champions, who feature 4 of their summer signings in the starting 11 and the return of Neymar. Alongside Gary Bailey, I'm Andres Cordero. Pleasure to have you with us this League on Saturday on beIN Sports. Early challenge for Kurzawa, and that does roll out. And first throw into the match. There's Kenny Lala, who will have his hands full on that right flank. They've doubled up the fullbacks on the right. Mohamed Simakan, who played as a center back last time out, now mans the right wing back slot. And just in front of him is Kenny Lala.
And this is 2 contrasting needs here today for Neymar and company. It's about great football and goals and winning over the fans, and Keylor Navas settling in to show us all that he is that world-class goalkeeper that we know him to be. For Strasbourg, now in a relegation position after results yesterday, struggling with draws, 3 draws out of 4, knocked out of Europe, and they're already playing survival football, so absolute contrasting positions.
As mentioned, Strasbourg, known as a counter-attacking team, they do work hard and they try to bite off of the opposition's mistakes. Paris, a team that don't make too many mistakes in possession. Here they come with Idrissa Gueye. Simakan dropping very deep on the right side of that back 5 to deny Pablo Sarabia. Gueye. Neymar's first touch for the Brazilian. Statement from the PSG Ultras coming out before this match that, quote, Neymar must redeem himself. That was also the cover of L'Equipe in France.
Well, it's an easy way to do it when you're a striker or a number 10. That's to score goals, play lovely football. Fans forgive almost anything when you play well for their side. So we see a foul given there for a stamp on the ankle of Thiago Silva.
Thiago Silva drawing the foul from the 6'6" striker Ludovica Jork. Those Ultras in that statement excoriating Neymar for, in their words, disrespecting and embarrassing the club as Verratti swings it in.
And I think they're right to some extent. I mean, he didn't just want to leave. He really, really wanted to leave, as the defenders just clear up at the back here.
Reportedly offered to make up the financial difference between the two clubs.
You know, I think when you want to leave, you've got to do it very subtly without disrespecting the club who are paying your wages.
Ball delivered forward for choupo-moting. Balls for Neymar. Not that he should be showing any rust, Neymar. He was brilliant for Brazil over the international break. Scored and had an assist against Colombia Friday in Miami. Played just the final 27 minutes in Peru's 1-0 win over Brazil Wednesday in LA. So maybe a bit travel weary, but showing that there is no rust in his legs.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see the full 90 minutes from him today. I think the idea is to get him in front of the crowd, get the antagonism out the way, hopefully give him a penalty, a free kick, something that gets him on the score sheet, and then pull him off after 60-odd minutes, because you're right, the travelling is very, very tiring. But all focus on him. I'm still keeping my eyes on Keylor Navas in goals. If he can settle in quickly, make a few good saves, he could be the key to them winning European Champions League as much as Neymar is in the attacking side.
It's intercepted by Verratti. Here's Neymar. A few whistles, sputterings. The through ball intended for Sarabia. Shielded well by Simakan. Well, you've got to love this. There were a few whistles there for Neymar, but prior to that, in his previous touch, instead of whistles and jeers for Neymar, there was singing and praise for Edinson Cavani, who's not playing a part in today's game.
And who's bumped heads with Neymar in the past, so maybe they feel he is more committed to the cause. But either way, a couple of wins, especially next week or during the midweek against Real Madrid, that's when Neymar has to come to the party, and Keylor Navas is in Europe. That's what's been missing from this incredible squad. And I think those two players can go a long way to bringing European glory to the stadium.
Here's Dagba. Di Maria. Interesting to note that at least in the early going, Di Maria on the right, Pablo Sarabia on the left. Players who can play on either wing. Displaced pass by Di Maria, trying to link up with choupo-moting. Here's Jean Bellegarde. There will be a lot said about Neymar and some of the new signings like Keylor Navas and Mauro Icardi, but the acquisition of Senegal's Idrissa Gueye was an absolutely fantastic signing for Paris. Hard-working midfielder who will cover a lot of ground. Can set the tempo off the ball for this PSG team, especially alongside Marco Verratti.
Yeah, those sort of signings go unnoticed, don't they? Because all the focus is on Neymar. And you can chuck in Pablo Sarabia, signed from Sevilla as well. Another very good player that Thomas Tuchel's brought in. And together it gives him a massive, massive squad. His biggest challenge, of course, other than getting the best out of Neymar, is keeping everybody happy.
And to force his way forward, Sissoko. And turns into a counter the other way. It's Neymar.
We'll listen to the crowd's reaction to Neymar on the ball. Not positive at this moment in time.
Di Maria flicked forward, Neymar onto his right. Magnetizes the ball, but under heavy pressure. Dagba. Dagba, one of the breakout stars of PSG's youth team, and getting another opportunity in the early going. This is his now 4th appearance this season and 3rd start for the 21-year-old right back. The build up here, Kurzawa, choupo-moting with his back to goal. Cleared away by Bellegarde.
Good to see Kurzawa back as well. He's got such a good engine getting up and down that left flank. Big, strong player, good with the head as well. He's going to be crucial to PSG's success this season, and battling for that left position with Juan Bernat, who's on the bench today.
Di Maria, more central option this time. Di Maria weaving his way forward. Neymar tried to turn it for the Argentine. Here's Kenny Lala. Starting deeper than Mohamed Simakan on that occasion.
Yeah, they're struggling to get out of their own half here, Strasbourg. And we talked about Keylor Navas and how important it is for him to have a good game today. I'm not so sure he's going to get that much to do. Even if he makes just one crucial save, that'll be enough. But very much a spectator as he just sweeps it up here.
3-time Champions League winner, back-to-back Champions Leagues with Real Madrid for Keylor Navas. And coming back from playing for Costa Rica during this international break now, making his debut, and does very much seem to be the number one, undisputed for Thomas Tuchel. Wasn't the case last season in the PSG goal, where there was some competition between the legend Buffon and the now Real Madrid player Areola.
Yeah, 3 European Champions League wins. Wouldn't they love this at PSG? I mean, it's their dream just to get to a final at this stage. But to win it, and win it 3 times in a row, Oh, wow, this place would explode. But right now, it's just a case of getting this team playing and dealing with Real Madrid midweek and making sure they get a good result here today.
Here's Kurzawa making his first start this season. Only played 8 minutes against Metz before the international break. And a misplaced pass looking for the run of Sarabia. Bit of a surprise to see Juan Bernat among the absentees for this match. And his absence does open the door for Kurzawa to impress today.
Always difficult for managers when we see the visiting manager there, Thierry Larry. He's got a job in his hands, but so too is Thomas Tuchel, keeping everybody happy, keeping players fighting for places. So you bring Kurzawa in at left back. Juan Bernat thinks, whoopsie, I need to keep my game up to make sure I remain the first choice. And that's what you want in every position on the pitch as a manager, every player fighting for his place. And certainly he's got the depth of squad, Thomas Tuchel, to do that.
Here's Sissoko. The bright young prospect among defensive midfielders in Ligue 1, the 21-year-old Ibrahima Sissoko, French under-21 player. Real gem in the middle for the Strasbourg side. There's the captain Mitrovic.
Yeah, slipped by him in the last game was very expensive against Monaco. Allowed Monaco to go 2-1 up. So he'll be looking to redeem himself today.
Kenny Lala getting forward. Parisian-born Kenny Lala, and he's won a throw here for Strasbourg. Paris, by the way, on the longest active home unbeaten run in Ligue 1. It's been 21 matches since they suffered a league loss here at the Parc des Princes. That includes all of last season. They finished the campaign without a single home defeat in 2018-2019.
Well, you would almost expect it given the incredible squad they've amassed here in Paris. It's a squad that really should be winning European Champions League or getting to finals at least.
They did drop points twice, including against Strasbourg in the 2-2 draw. The other draw came 2 home games later against Nice, 1-1. Mauro Icardi, he had more successful time forcing his way out of Inter, perhaps, than Neymar did out of Paris.
Yeah, I mean, he's a wonderful striker, Icardi. Don't get me wrong, I think he's absolutely brilliant. But he brings with him a whole bunch of other stuff off the field, which can destabilize dressing rooms. But I think this dressing room is all over the place anyway, with the Brazilians and how powerful they are, and the importance of Neymar and Mbappe being one of the best players in the world. So chucking Icardi in, I don't think will actually cause too many problems. It would in most clubs, but not this one.
Neymar slotted through looking for choupo-moting, and Mitrovic was on alert. Nice turn by Gay, and he's dropped. It will be a free kick here for Paris. The foul given against Jean Bellegarde. One of the new signings for Strasbourg is Jean Bellegarde, the Haitian international, but born in France. Sarabia, scooped pass looking for the run of Kurzawa. Kept in, and that could be dangerous. Paris on the front foot, squared in, intercepted by Sissoko, who's defending very deep, the defensive midfielder.
They are so deep, aren't they, Strasbourg? Everybody back. It's almost as if they're saying, well, we're just going to end up defending the whole time. Tuchel's going to try and find a way through that packed defense. He's giving some instructions there, but look at the blue shirts back. It's just going to be a hard afternoon of defending by the visitors.
Thomasson nearly able to intercept. It's not a down for Marco Verratti. Here's Dagba, and you have space for the youngster. Idrissa Gueye, part of the Senegal side that finished runners-up in the Africa Cup of Nations. The ball swung in. Choupo-Moting's header just over the crossbar. Well, he was closely marked by Mitrovic, but it didn't seem to matter.
He's done really well, choupo-moting. A lot of people, when he got signed from Stoke, said, what a waste of money. Well, 3 goals in the last 2, and there again, he's got that physical strength. He gets in where others wouldn't want to risk getting hurt. He certainly has played a good role, but you get to thinking from his point of view, when Cavani gets fit, he doesn't just drop to being number 2, he drops to falling behind Icardi as well. Imagine how he feels, 3 goals in 2 games, and he's going to be third choice striker very soon. It's going to be heartbreaking for him, but I guess you always accept that injuries happen, and when called upon, he can do a job.
3 goals in his 22 games last season as well, but only 8 of those were starts. Today making his 2nd start in the absence of both Mbappe and Cavani. Here's Thiago Silva. Down the middle, it's a clever pass, but easily grabbed by Marcels.
Oh, you can see what he's trying to do, but just didn't put any bend in it, didn't slow the ball down. He's going straight through to the keeper. They'll keep probing PSG. They'll try everything to see if they can get past this defense, and when they do, then the problem for Strasbourg is they've got to come out, and that's going to open up more gaps.
Sarabia's pass is misplaced. Slack pass that time by Mohamed Simakan. Diallo. Verratti. There's Di Maria. Okay. Neymar. Instead of the boot as he finds Sarabia wide. Swung in for choupo-moting. Two players sliding in. Moting wrong side of the net. And out for a goal kick.
Good ball in there. Choupo-moting got too many defenders around him, as you said. I was keeping an eye on Neymar, thinking, could he have pulled it back to Neymar? Have a look. Neymar's free there. Goes into Choupo-moting, who's got two players. Sorry, it was Di Maria who was free. He's got two players on his shoulder. Di Maria's got his hand up saying, what about me? I'm in the box. I'm unmarked.
This being Paris, worth making a sartorial notice. Looks as though there is a communication with VAR there, but this third kit for PSG brings back the old Nike logo. It is reminiscent, by the way, of the USA's jersey from the 2006 World Cup in Germany as well. It was all white, had the blue and red stripe going down the same side.
Just looking for a handball.
Possibly.
Can't see it. Oh, actually there is.
And that may be given by the letter of the new application of the rules. If the arm is away from the body, making the silhouette bigger, it can be given as a handball, and it doesn't appear that will be the case here.
Mitrovic getting off with that one. So strict, the handball laws now, that you almost got to play with your hands tied behind your back.
Simakan. Against Sarabia, plenty involved, the Spaniard. Lovely ball forward for Neymar, and Mitrovic just getting in his way. Akio by Neymar. Here's Sarabia into the box. It's a crowded 18, lots of blue shirts, and not able to link up with choupo-moting with Sarabia.
Lovely skill from Neymar. They were getting all the boos, and when he hit that, he got all the applause. That's how you win the crowd over.
Verratti draws a foul here. It's given against Lionel Carroll. Looks as though Verratti might have wanted the advantage. Strong from the ex-Pescara man.
Here's this little bit of skill. Here we go. Boom. Thank you. Lovely pass. Crowd enjoy it. A few more of those, and it'll be welcome back, Neymar.
Quarter of an hour gone. Set piece chance here for Paris. It's Di Maria and Verratti standing over the ball. Two on the wall for Sels. Verratti delivers back post. No trouble for the Strasbourg defense. That is given. It's a Strasbourg ball. That's touched by Verratti, handled by Verratti.
And he then grabs his face. Oh, I love it. Trying to fool the referee and to avoid any possible yellow cards.
Master of the dark arts, Marco Verratti. Never actually played in Serie A. Got scooped up by Paris from Pescara. The season that he and Pescara won promotion to the top flight of Italian football, but he has been a mainstay of PSG's 11, whomever the manager happens to be.
Since 2012, he's been at the club. And there's been a few clubs try to pry him away. He's such a good player, Marco Verratti. I think Barcelona had a keen interest at one stage, but he's staying, as are the likes of Neymar. And when you start bringing in Keylor Navas and Icardi, you've got a side that we've said before and we'll say it again, it's formidable. You look around the world and say, is there a better squad than PSG's? I'm not sure there is.
There's only one more expensive. That's Manchester City. Sarabia trying to find Kurzawa. It's a study that came out by the CIES Football Observatory recently. Manchester City, the first ever billion-euro club in terms of the active squad. Just behind them is Paris Saint-Germain at 913 million euro. Those two are the only billion-dollar clubs in terms of the construction of their current squad. Coincidentally, they're the only two state-owned teams in European football as well.
Obviously, the states have more money than individuals do, understandably so.
Here's Kone. One of the things that Strasbourg did address this offseason was trying to shore up their defense, their backline. They made Lamine Kone's loan permanent from Sunderland. Brought in Alexander Djikou from Caen, underrated defender, 25-year-old. Could be a big part of that back three. This is promising now for Strasbourg. It's the Jork! It's parried by Keylor Navas, forced into action for the first time.
There we go. Keylor Navas, one of the top goalkeepers in the world, and this is why Jork hits it fairly well. Keeper tips it around the post, doesn't knock it out into danger, gets it away and past the post out for a corner. And I just wonder if PSG fans are now seeing a good reason why they could go on to European glory this season.
Well, first shot on target from either side. It's come from Strasbourg. Outswinger toward the near post. Mitrovic got a touch. It's chased down by Idrissa Gueye.
To be fair to a Yorker, that's not bad for a guy who's 6'6". He turned nice and nimbly, got himself set up, got a good amount of power behind that shot, and forced a really good save out of Keylor Navas. So, little warning perhaps to PSG that there are players up front for Strasbourg who could cause them problems.
Jork in only his second season of top-flight football had a respectable 9 goals in his 18 games for Strasbourg last season after signing over from Clermont. And he gives Paris their first scare after 18 minutes. It's poked away from Gueye. Back for Matsels. Well liked by the Strasbourg fans, this Belgian goalkeeper. He was the fans' player of the season for the last campaign.
He's made some good saves again against Monaco last week. Crucial saves, and he's going to be needed this season by the looks of it.
Excellent touch from Kenny Lala. Jork with his back to goal. Here's Thomasson. Going to fight his way through a challenge. It was Marco Verratti, and he's won the free kick here for Paris.
Well, so far, all good for Strasbourg. Coming up for 20 minutes, they've kept a clean sheet. Sort of quietened the crowd. They were all super excited to see Neymar, either for good or bad reasons.
Quickly restarted, floated forward. It's Di Maria, and it's going to be given as a foul against the Argentine.
Yeah, almost any time a defender goes down in the box, the referees or the assistant refs tend to give it. Let's see if there was much contact. Actually, there was. To be fair, there was a little nudge in the back from Di Maria.
Carroll. Floated forward. Kenny Lala tripped up from behind. It's incidental contact in the view of Delarue.
Damn, good chance here. That was a fantastic ball in. You just wonder if he hadn't have gone down, whether he would have got on the end of it. Well, we'll never know.
Sarabia. I mentioned what a valuable acquisition Pablo Sarabia is. He played in 7 different positions for Sevilla last season. Player who will find ways to get his name on the lineup, whether on the left, on the right, and an attacking spot in the more deeper midfield position. Here's Neymar, nice turn in front of traffic, trying to feed Gueye into the area.
Doesn't quite work out this time, but they're going to keep probing around the edge of that box. And just going back to Sarabia, I think for him, leaving Sevilla must have been tough, but with PSG, you got a chance to win big trophies. It might not happen, but who's to say he wouldn't be in a European Champions League final or come off a bench and score a winner? Those are the things that players dream about, and really has an opportunity at PSG this season, does Pablo Sarabia.
This is Adrien Thomasson. Bellegarde. Starting to look very settled in here. Strasbourg making a few approaches into the PSG half after a bit of one-way traffic in the early going. No reset back to Kone. Here's Alexander Djikou. He's had a difficult early career. Djikou has already been relegated from Ligue 1 twice. First with Bastia, then with Caen. Well, it's Strasbourg where they expect big things out of the 25-year-old Montpellier native.
Well, I hope it doesn't happen again, because right now they're sitting in a relegation position. You must be looking at that position on the table and thinking, no, not a third time, surely not.
Here's Corol, the ex-La Liga player Corol. It's a fortunate bounce for Strasbourg, but ultimately blocked by Thiago Silva. Here's Kenny Lala, scooped into the area, but not on the same page that time. There's Adrien Thomasson.
It's one of those rare forays forward for Strasbourg. They've got to use them, got to try and get shots on target or get balls wide and whip them in. They're not going to get at this PSG attack too often in this game. When they do, got to make good use of it.
Colin Dagba. Just going back to that Keylor Navas save moments ago to deny Ludovic Ajorc. Hard to quantify exactly how many points Navas saved for Real Madrid over the last several seasons, but his impact is absolutely monumental with saves just like that, would-be goals that were kept out by the Costa Rican.
Absolutely, and you see it at all the top clubs. Ter Stegen at Barcelona, absolutely fantastic. Alisson at Liverpool. All these goalkeepers, they save you points. They're needed. Even in a wonderful team, you still need your goalkeeper in some games, and that's why I think Keylor Navas could be the piece missing here. Everyone will point to Neymar. They might point to Icardi perhaps coming off the bench, and Mbappe when he gets back. But your goalkeeper, he's the one who in these really big matches, tight matches against other top opposition, can be absolutely crucial.
And Strasbourg looked to play the ball out of the back on the ground. High press from PSG convinced him to do otherwise.
Just staying with the Keylor Navas theme, if he does go on to be successful in Europe and Real Madrid don't, and the rumours are that Zidane wanted to keep Keylor Navas and not take Courtois, wonder how people at Real Madrid are going to feel.
It's a heavy pass from Ajorc. Adrien Thomasson not able to catch up. Sarabia. Kurzawa. Verratti. Picking up well with Idrissa Gueye. It's just touched away by Bellegarde. And direct Route 1 football now from Strasbourg. This could be promising. It's Thomasson on the front foot. Just cut out by Abou Diallo.
Diallo doing really well there. Thomasson looked dangerous, as you're right. It was a long ball up front. Route 1 football, but it nearly worked. And they'll do plenty of that, Strasbourg, if they need to.
Risky from Dagba here. And the whistle does go against Colin Dagba. After losing the ball, he lunges in and catches Ibrahima Sissoko.
Let's have a look at it again. Yeah, it doesn't even get near the ball. He's lucky he doesn't get a yellow for that. So it's often given when you miss the ball and catch the play. Here's that chance for Thomasson. So well defended by Diallo, but a little bit of pressure on the back four now of Paris. Strasbourg has, if you say, they've clawed their way back into this match, and wouldn't it be a shock if they took a lead on a day when Neymar's back and Keylor Navas makes his debut? This unfancied team go ahead? Well, let's wait and see.
So Kenny Lala stands over the ball. It won't be a shock to Strasbourg. They've taken the lead in 3 of the last 4 against Paris, but winning is altogether a different proposition. Good luck marking him, if you're Marco Verratti.
He nearly broke his neck, Marco Verratti, trying to look up at a York.
Lala in swinger toward the back post, and no one there to meet it. It's watched out by Choupo-moting.
That's a bad free kick when you've got a player who's 6'6". You've got to find him. You've got to get very, very close.
Well, I was joking, but Verratti actually did end up marking Ludovic Ajorc. That's PSG's shortest player against Strasbourg's tallest.
And he was pulling him as well, which is a dangerous thing to do in the box. But back to that free kick, you've got to find your big man, and that was a wasted opportunity. And once again, they would have played for this, Strasbourg. They'll know they won't have many chances, and they would have said, when we get free kicks, let's use them. That one, they didn't use.
Kurzawa. Verratti popping up in all sorts of places, leading Kurzawa forward. That's just poked away by Simakanu. Scrambles back into action. Corner kick for Paris.
Good defending by Simakanu there. He had to get that absolutely right, otherwise that was a penalty. Look there, just before Kurzawa could touch it. He gets his boot in. Listen to the boos for Neymar.
First corner kick of the match for Paris. Hostile home crowd for Neymar.
One of the greatest players in the world. Tough.
Back toward the edge of the 18. It's Di Maria on his right. Laid off for Thiago Silva. It looked as though there was an opening there for Di Maria. Maybe just didn't have his balance about him.
Well, he didn't like his right foot because it was set up for the right foot. We know he's a lefty. Maybe he just didn't fancy it.
Here's Di Maria. Slight push from behind, but nothing given by De La Rue. Flying forward now is Kenny Lala. Oof, it's an important block.
It is. York was free on the far side, and Lala had seen him. If he could have got that pass in, PSG could have been in all sorts of trouble.
Diallo just getting in the way. Djikou. Carol. Good leading ball forward just beyond the reach of Ibrahima Sissoko. Navas quickly gets it away. Neymar. Approaching a half hour played, and it's a very crowded final third for Strasbourg as they keep 5 defenders back and 1 or 2 defensive midfielders at almost all times.
That's so well won there by York. Just keeps possession for the team in blue, and that's so important that they retain the ball. They don't have to keep chasing those white shirts everywhere. They can take a bit of a breather and look to create their own attacks. Ooh, that looked for a second like he'd gone over the ball, but nobody hurt, so play continues.
Won the ball and played the ball. And still Simakan in possession as he leaves bodies in his wake. Alexander Djikou. There's space to run into here for Djikou. Carol. Nearly cross, looking for a Jork. Agba. There's some pressure, a little too much pressure that time from Adrien Thomasson. And the whistle does go PSG's favor.
Once again, a bit more pressure. Strasbourg must be very happy with where they're at. No question there was a bit of a shove and a bump, nothing serious. You're getting halfway into, rather 30 minutes into the match, a third of the way into the game. Strasbourg have not only contained PSG, they've actually began to push back a little bit, which will make their fans very happy. I don't know what's going to do for the PSG fans.
Neymar. Much more central role for Neymar now. There's Thomas Tuchel, not at all just a wing player, but more of a center attacking midfield number 10. Here he comes. Had an option of Kurzawa coming in and maybe a little slow to make up his mind. It was Neymar. 2v2 here, 3v2 if Strasbourg can hurry. Switch for a Jork. 30 minutes gone in Paris. Here's Kenny Lala. Once again, a Jork from just outside the area. And he's swarmed on, and it's Idrissa Gueye who takes it away. And now an opening for Neymar. His flag is down, trying to surprise Sells, and the shot off target.
And the boos that follow. He had a chance there. Metzels is way off his line. You thought a player as good as Neymar would have found no difficulty in chipping him. Does he beat the offside trap? It looks like he does. He goes for the chip, doesn't pull it off. Opportunity lost, and the boos continue.
Looked as though Mitrovic was the man keeping him on. Here comes Strasbourg looking fairly comfortable at the Parc des Princes. Long switch of play, Carol on the near side. Mentioned he was in La Liga, spent a bit of time in Sevilla on loan in 2017. He was on the books for Galatasaray, but loaned out to the La Liga club. Team club from where Pablo Sarabia came to join Paris Saint-Germain. Maria. Carol scrambling back. Plenty of space here for Verratti to consider his options. He'll lead Kurzawa forward. Sarabia.
Very deep Strasbourg, almost 2 lines of 4 or 5 and a 4. No space.
Okay. Choupo-moting. A few touches for Eric Maxime Choupo-moting so far. Here's Dagba. Di Maria. Deep and tight from Strasbourg, but Di Maria somehow finding a passing lane that just gets away.
It's difficult to find the passing lane. That's the problem here with all these blue shirts back. Here's that chance again. Neymar set himself up, just didn't connect it, did he? I think 9 times out of 10 in training, he puts it over the keeper and comes extremely close to scoring, if not scoring. That one was way wide. That is a really good opportunity.
From that replay, seemed to catch it with his heel.
That was a good chance for Neymar to win this crowd over. If he'd have scored, you get the sense the boos would have died down. It's not going to be the case until he does something magical to win back this very disillusioned crowd who really feel incredibly upset and hurt that he wanted so badly to leave their club.
Interestingly, the PSG Ultras say they plan to treat Neymar with indifference, but starting Sunday. Today they invited fans to voice their displeasure.
Indifference, well, that's better than displeasure.
The quote was, the path to the redemption will be very long. Thiago Silva scooped forward, hit well over the head of Choupo-Moting.
Comfortable for Matt Sells just to pluck the one out there, the 24-year-old Belgium. He's been busy in a lot of the matches they've played. They've played another, is it 6 extra games in Europe? Ending with being knocked out by Eintracht Frankfurt in Europa League. So there's some tired legs out there with Strasbourg. When you play that many more games than all the others in the same period of time, it starts to tell. And then, of course, you're in the relegation zone as well. And then on top of all of that, you've got to come to Paris to play the mighty PSG. It's... I wonder what's going to happen last 15, 20 minutes to these Strasbourg legs.
Strasbourg, by the way, playing the Europa League by virtue of winning the Coupe de la Ligue last season. Edging out Guingamp on penalties in the final.
It's
a competition that's been dominated by Paris of late. Last season, PSG didn't win either of the 2 domestic cups.
It's one of those situations, I'm not so sure you want to be in Europe when you've got a squad as small as Strasbourg's. Puts you under immense pressure.
Sarabia's pass back to Neymar left a lot to be desired, and could be a break now for Thomason. Well, look at that transition. 2 blue shirts and a lot of white. Switch to the near side for Djikou. Carroll. Risky pass back, and it has been taken away by Choupo-Moting. Verratti. Neymar megs his marker. Let's notice he has to drop a little deeper to get involved now, Choupo-Moting, and he's found Holland Dagba out wide. Dagba sprinting away from his marker. Dagba on his left. Blocked by Carroll. Verratti.
So difficult for Paris to find a way through, and got to give Strasbourg credit. They're closing down, they're pushing, they're shoving, they're getting numbers behind the ball. They just really haven't offered anything for PSG. And having said that, when the odd opportunity came like Neymar's, he wasn't able to take it and chip over Sells.
Trying to surprise the Strasbourg defense this time. Neymar was the furthest man forward. Strong from Idrissa Gueye. It's Kenny Lala who's first onto this 1v2, and he's got help on the way in the form of a Jork. Instead finds Thomason. Simakan. Troubled by Neymar, but not too troubled. Still Simakan at the edge of the area. It's flighted in. Thiago Silva deals with it. Down by Sissoko. Appeals for a handball, and the appeal's granted.
Just think, if you're Thomas Tuchel, you're just hoping your team get a goal soon, because the energy is draining from the team.
Through ball forward for Choupo-Moting. The flag stays down for now. It's Moting on his right. Tangled up with Kone. That's wonderful defending by Lamine Kone. Question as to whether the VAR might have judged that to be offside on review. In fact, it has been given as an offside.
Didn't quite have the skills or the pace to cause any problems there, Choupo-Moting, and he's got a knock for all his trouble. Let's have a look at it again. Just on the edge. Hard to tell from our perspective, but possibly just offside. He can't get away from the big defender, and hasn't got the skills to get around him as either. So in the end, good defending from Lamine Kone.
They initially signed Kone from Sunderland on loan, and really impressed on his loan spell. They made that permanent this summer. Ivory Coast international now expected to feature regularly in defense. Delarue putting a stop to the action here as there is some concern for Choupo-Moting, who's slow to get up.
Oh.
Mauro Icardi is quick to get up.
Could this be the moment? And could there be a new hero getting ready to appear at the Parc de France? What a player he is. What a finisher. I'm not so sure he's going to come out of the box and do much work for you. But you get the ball to him in the box, he will score goals. There we go. Takes the applause of the crowd. At least they do love somebody. It might not be Neymar.
Nice ovation for Mauro Icardi, the two-time capocannoniere in Serie A. Shared his first scoring title with Luca Toni. He finished level a couple of seasons back.
I just wonder if he shouldn't have achieved more for Argentina as well. Let's have a look and see what happens here. Oh, if it lands, Kone lands right on that left ankle of choupo-moting. He's really feeling it. But, you know, you wonder if Icardi shouldn't have proved or done more at international level, club level, with the talent he has. He's underachieved in many ways.
For so long, wasn't even called up for the Argentina national team, despite winning scoring titles with Inter in Serie A.
But even when he did, he didn't perform. He didn't set the place alight, did he? And even his own club, he's managed to fall out with everybody there, seemingly. Inter Milan. He was captain at one stage, and
until very recently,
yeah,
had the armband stripped more than once. This is what Choupo-Moting will try to continue. In fact, he will.
Well, you know, you're not going to have many minutes in that jersey up front with Icardi around and Cavani getting back from fitness. So yeah, you take every second you can get.
Kone. Simakan, no, roll it all the way back to Sells. Just about 5 minutes remaining of first half of normal time. Paris 0, Strasbourg 0. PSG still without a shot on target. The game's only shot on target so far was Ludovica Jork, or Strasbourg, denied by Keylor Navas.
It is frustrating for PSG fans because you're waiting in expectation of brilliance. You've seen a couple of good flicks and skills from Neymar. Di Maria's looked good on the ball, but you haven't got the breakthrough. And if they're already booing Neymar, if this breakthrough doesn't come through early in that second half, these fans are going to start to get very, very restless.
Leaving Korzova. Sarabia looking for Di Maria. Sarabia battling in the area here against Mohamed Simakan. And it's going to be given against Pablo Sarabia. Free kick for Strasbourg. We do have an isolation camera on that man. Who else? It's interesting to watch the players arrive at the stadium. Team bus parked just outside. No red carpet, the usual treatment in front of a lot of fans. They were trying, I believe, to mitigate some of the reaction to Neymar's return, but there were a few fans out there watching the players come in. There were huge cheers for Choupo-Moting, who's in form, and something of a cult hero for PSG. There were big cheers for Mauro Icardi, who could be making his debut today. There was silence as Neymar was the last player to step off of the bus.
Oh, that's better than getting the boos. The boos, if he's lucky, will turn to indifference.
Kenny Lala skipping past the initial challenge of Korzova. Diallo there to clean up. Gay. Excellent control from the Senegal international. Neymar. Not too much of the ball that time to Djikou. Adrien Thomasson. Lati sliding in to send it forward. Here's Di Maria. Again. Once again, Di Maria in the crowd. And he passed from Neymar to find Gay. Sarabia a bit of space to survey his options. A quick ball forward. Choupo-Moting won't get there.
become laboured a bit, hasn't it, with PSG? That little sparkle in the first 20 minutes, just not getting through, and they're becoming repetitive, easy to read. Needs a moment of magic.
That could be the man to provide it, but Neymar brought down by Mitrovic. No foul. It's a containment strategy from Strasbourg, trying to limit the space close to their own goal. So far, so good for the visiting side.
Oh, yeah, you've got to give them credit. As much as we look at PSG and go, they need to do more. The men in blue have fought really well. They've closed down the spaces. They've won the ball upfield and gone up to support. They've made it very, very difficult. I'm not so sure they can keep it up for 90 minutes, but certainly in this first half, they've made life difficult for Di Maria and company.
Here's Neymar. Sarabia always moving, always hovering near the ball to make himself an option. Now looking for an option of his own. Diallo. Here's the captain, Thiago Silva. Di Maria. Strength in numbers for Strasbourg, but now Neymar trying to surprise the Strasbourg defense, and it's off target.
Not a bad effort there by Neymar. The goalkeeper didn't seem too bothered by it. He felt it was going wide. Doesn't even make an attempt. It's bending the right way. There's enough power on it. It's just, what is it, a good 2 yards wide of the goal. At least it's a positive move. We haven't had too much of that from PSG in the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes. At least it shows that he's intent on trying to do something. There's a look at it again. Buys himself a bit of space. Whips the ball. Yeah, just a little bit too far wide.
He's averaged nearly a goal per game in his 2 seasons in Liga as Neymar. Now there goes PSG's way here, and Jean Bellegarde will pick up a yellow card for the foul. First yellow of the contest. It comes in the final minute of first half normal time.
Does he get the ball? Is it worthy of a yellow? We saw one earlier where the ball wasn't won, I think, by Colin Dagba. Gets the player nothing given. But once you're on a yellow card, Jean Bellegarde's got to be very careful. Any mistimed tackle now, second yellow, and his team will be down to 10. And that's what happens when teams apply pressure. The cracks start to appear. That could be the first crack in the Strasbourg armory.
We'll add on 2 more. We'll play into at least the end of the 47th before halftime. Di Maria, Neymar, Mitrovic stepping forward to kick it away from the Brazilian. Carol. Jiku has that poked free by Choupo-Moting, but it will stay with Strasbourg via throw.
He caught his ankle there. Choupo-Moting caught Jiku's ankle as they're just there as he kicks the ball clear, and he feels it, does the defender. I just wonder if Choupo-Moting's playing his last few minutes. If you're Thomas Tuchel, what do you do at halftime? How do you liven this team up? Well, Icardi would be one of the most obvious things to do. Maybe he'll wait until the 60th minute. Maybe he'll do it at halftime, especially given that Choupo-Moting's carrying a bit of a knock. It's something that just galvanizes the team, galvanizes the fans.
The trouble perhaps there is that it's not that Paris are not putting away their chances, it's that they're struggling to create chances. Mauro Icardi, player who will wait inside of the area, needs the kind of service that PSG haven't had so far in this match.
I think you do expect second half that the pressure will build from PSG, that these blue shirts have run themselves really hard. Will they have the energy to keep going to the same pace in the second half?
Will they take a 1-0 lead into the halftime break? Here's a late approach from Strasbourg. It's Kenny Lala. We'll stay with Strasbourg. They get a throw.
Concern on the face of the coach, Tuchel. He'll feel the pressure. He knows the expectations. He knows that everyone is assuming Paris will win this 4 or 5, and there should be a couple of goals before half-time, and he wants goals for Neymar. He doesn't want Neymar getting booze. He wants us to be out the way. He wants the crowd to at least show, what do you say, indifference, as opposed to booze. It doesn't help him when the fans are against his star player.
The indifference doesn't start until Sunday. Delarue having a word here. This is taking us beyond the 2 minutes added on. Simicon and Korzeva both seemingly warned. This could be the final approach of the opening half. Thomasson. Nodded away by Gay. Sissoko. Bajork. Thomasson. Kenny Lala brought down a free kick coming up for Strasbourg, and looks as though PSG will be defending the rest of this opening half. Yellow card for Korzeva, who'd just been warned.
I'm going to say, when you've just been warned, you don't go and do that, because you know, as a matter of fact, the referee is going to book you, which is what he's done, and now he's got to be extremely careful. And with the big man, 6'6", Bajork up front, this is also a dangerous moment for PSG.
Well, it's Kenny Lala set to deliver. The 6'2" center back Stefan Mitrovic also getting forward. Lala floats it in. It's just nutted over the top. Promising approach, but Lamine Kone could not get his header down. And that was the final touch of the opening half. At the break, it's Paris 0, Strasbourg 0.
The new masculine fragrance by Dolce & Gabbana.
At Macy's, the fragrance destination.
You check in frequently to see how the markets are doing. But what you really need to know is how you're doing. Where do you go for that? Right here, personalcapital.com. Join for free. You'll get a dashboard that shows you all your accounts in one place. Income, spending, investments, even your net worth, all in real time. You'll get all these free retirement and investing tools, including a retirement planner that takes the guesswork out of retirement, plus wealth management options. Join at personalcapital.com.
What is certainty? Certainty is the passionate commitment to fulfill every promise. Certainty is someone on your side, with you, for you, minding every detail. Certainty is 4imprint, a caring, trusted team, ensuring your promotional products are perfect, delivered on time, every time, with the promise of your complete satisfaction guaranteed. So, what does certainty bring? A delighted smile when expectations are exceeded. The rise of your shoulders as your chest fills with pride. A pep in your step, a fist pump, a goosebump, a whoop, a tingle, a grin, a laugh, or even one
reportedly the 20 million euro difference between the negotiations in those two clubs, and Harris weren't interested in that.
See, that's going to turn the fans against you. When you're prepared to pay some of your salary so you can get away from their beloved PSG, that's never going to go down well with the fans. It's got a lot of winning back to do.
The road to redemption will be very long, said the PSG ultras who were in attendance today. And nearly surprised Strasbourg early on. The ball rolls in the second half at the Parc des Princes, 0-0 after the opening 45 minutes. Alongside Gary Bailey, I'm Andres Cordovero. Thanks for joining us on the League on Saturday here on beIN Sports. No changes from either manager, and a change in attitude needed from PSG to break through this tight and defensively solid Strasbourg.
Kazawa there going into Simakan. That was simmering over from the first half. First chance, Kazawa gets absolutely smacks into the right wing back of Strasbourg, and I think we'll see more between those two as this match goes on. But Kazawa has to be careful. He's on a yellow. If he mistimes one of those little friendly tackles, he could get a second yellow and be off.
It's interesting what Strasbourg have done defensively here, Gary. Committed 7 players to defense, so I'll give you more on that in a moment. Here's Pablo Sarabia. Now Di Maria as Neymar continues his run. Di Maria get a second chance. Slotted through for Neymar with help from choupo-moting. Neymar looking for the opening. Just able to get there was Kone.
Di Maria switching to that left side. He spent most. Obviously going to try and probe there and see what they can get.
Static committed to defense. You've got Lamine Kone and Simakan doubled up on the right. Verratti marauding forward now. Jiku and Carol doubled up on the left. Here's Kurzawa. And finishing 11th and winning the Coupe de la Ligue to qualify for Europa League. Season before that, just finished above the drop zone. It was comfortable last season, though. 16 points above the bottom two that are directly relegated to Ligue 1. Sarabia has to go himself, deflected off of Kenny Lala and collected by Sells.
You're right, it's an incredible performance by Strasbourg to come from the 3rd division all the way up. We see under Herrera getting ready, but are we going to see Icardi? And I'm thinking the answer to that is yes. Round about the 60th minute, we should see Icardi. But yeah, credit to Strasbourg. On a limited budget, no doubt. They're looking at all these superstar PSG players, and I don't know what they earn, but it's a hell of a lot less. That's for absolute certain.
So it is taken by Thiago Silva, away from Kenny Lala. In terms of the notable debuts, well, it's a season debut for Neymar, who hadn't featured since matchday 36 last campaign. It's the full debut for Keylor Navas in goal. Di Maria gets in behind, square ball for Neymar, who hadn't featured. Able to deal. 36 did not cross. Neymar.
Oh, it's great skills.
Squeezes Sissoko into a knot. Still Neymar now. The byline.
Brilliant. It's just wonderful to watch, but there's got to be an end product. He doesn't get a good ball from Di Maria here, to be fair. Doesn't give him much of a chance, does it? But
watch this.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. A few of those, a few more moments like those, and maybe the crowd will move from hatred to indifference sooner than later.
5 minutes into the second half. A couple of yellow cards given in that first half. Jean Bellegarde for Strasbourg, leaving Kurzawa in stoppage time for PSG. And again, we've already seen the debut of Navas, the season debut of Neymar. On the bench, Mauro Icardi could make his debut. Ander Herrera also waiting for his debut. And the youngster, Tanguy Kouassi, hoping to get an opportunity today off the bench. PSG under-19 player. Verratti, slack pass from Marco. Way forward for Thomasson, but a risky pass back. Play out through Carroll. Here's Sissoko.
It's so difficult to play. Look at the white shirts, hunting. And they've already played about 5 passes and they're still halfway in their own half. There he is.
Mbappe and Bernat right alongside.
Mbappe, one of the, I would reckon, top 5 players in the world now, along with Neymar.
Just 5?
He's got to be in the top. Was he top 3? Possibly.
Djikou flies it forward, looking for Ajorc, brought down expertly. Ajorc, troubled by Khalid Dagba. Keylor Navas makes his second save from Ludovic Ajorc.
Good to see Keylor with a clean sheet. That's all he needs to keep doing.
There have been 2 shots on target this match, and neither from PSG.
That is worrying for PSG. All the fancy football, you've got to see results. They take a long time. Look, the 5 at the back are there, the 3 in the midfield. Just leaving, almost 4 in midfield, just leaving Ajorc up front in the end. And if you want to catch Strasbourg, you've got to do it on the counter and do it quickly.
Neymar finds Di Maria. Here's Neymar, a bit of an opening on his right. Neymar trying to force the issue, blocked by Bellegarde. Borzo, early cross looping in toward the back post and plucked out of the air by Sells.
Not a good cross from Kosovo. Way too much time on that. Goalkeeper's going to come and take that every single time without any stress. You've got to whip the ball in, put it in that sort of corridor of uncertainty between goalkeeper and defense. Keep it low so the keeper can't come, and then you might get some joy.
Corridor of uncertainty.
Between keeper and defenders.
Sounds like a good album.
So the keeper thinks, should I come? And the defenders think the keeper might be coming, and while you're all standing around, the attackers nip in and score. It's happened to me a few times.
It's like the cone of uncertainty during a hurricane. Here's Di Maria blazing a trail. And muscled off the ball rather easily that time. Kenny Lala. A little late to get back here, PSG, as Strasbourg make inroads. Thiago Silva deals with the danger. Simaka. Lala. Playing sort of a triple role today, Kenny Lala. He's one of the 3 central midfielders, but he's tasked with giving them a bit of width on the right-hand side because there's no one getting forward there. And he's also sort of an attacking midfielder between the defense and Ajorc, the lone man up top.
And he also takes penalties, which he did in the last game against Monaco. So, yep, jack of all trades is Kenny Lala.
Used to play in Paris, but for Paris FC. Here's Lala, trying to get around game. Verratti catapulted forward for the run of Neymar, dealt with by Mitrovic.
Thomas Tuchel was never a goalkeeper. Went through his hands and he got annoyed with himself.
He's got the size for a goalkeeper.
Certainly has.
The hands.
He's trying to speed things up. He knows that this team need to increase their urgency, increase the pressure. Just eyeing that bench now. I don't think we're too far away from seeing the introduction of Icardi.
Choupo-moting's pass fails to connect. Here's Kenny Lala. A blind pass that he probably should have looked. Di Maria. Now Neymar. Again on his right. Neymar looking for an opening. Neymar into the area. Opening never materialized. Halfway between a cross and a shot, it's well over the crossbar.
He's getting boozed, but he shouldn't be. It was a lovely run. Beats 1, beats 2, cuts inside. He knew choupo-moting was at the back post. If he'd have got it to him, it was a certain goal. And as he's about to play it, he goes there and he gets pulled by his shoulder and it just puts him off balance. He wasn't going to shoot. He knew choupo-moting was far post. Just couldn't get it to him.
Raffled into the middle. It's Thiago Silva who collects. Abdou Diallo. Di Maria. See Mitrovic conducting at the back. He's the man keeping that line compact. Dagba working here against Carroll. Lays it off for Sarabia. Sarabia, the look away pass. No trouble for Matt Sells.
keep probing, don't they? They keep trying to get something here. I'm quite sure what Sarabia was trying to do, whether he mishit that, or whether he thought someone was going to run into that space. Again, credit to Strasbourg, as you say, defending in numbers, getting behind the ball, making it difficult. Paris Saint-Germain have the players to get the breakthrough, and they now have to do something different. They've got to start getting in their box, running at them, trying to win penalties, increasing this pressure until Strasbourg crack.
Now Thiago Silva, all of the field players for PSG in the opposition's half. This is Neymar. Kurzawa. Gay. Agba. PSG trying to move the ball to move the opposition. There's so many of them back. It was basically everyone behind the ball except for Ludovic Ajorc. Picked into the area looking for the run of Pablo Sarabia. This falls for Neymar. Lovely flick over the top of Ajorc, and that's not easy. A 6'6" striker. Almost on in a foot race. It's Dagba who gets there first.
It's tough for Strasbourg. They've defended so well. They get out, lose possession. Now they're going to get all those blue shirts back behind the ball. And this is where the gaps might start to open up. As the legs get tired, that's when PSG can find some gaps. And I bet they're saying, Mbappe, where are you? We need you.
Mbappe, Cavani both absent today. Verratti leading Di Maria forward. The early cross toward the back post. No one making the run. Sarabia arrives late. Maybe just in time to keep possession alive. Neymar, Verratti, Gay. Quicker ball movement now from PSG. Lobbed, goal bound by Di Maria. Well, that's as much work as Matt Stels has had to do today in goal.
Which in itself sums things up, doesn't it? Not good enough from PSG, which is... Well, I'm still thinking that we're going to see Icardi sooner than later. You need him in that box. This is the sort of guy you want to be on the receiving end of balls in there. Not that choupo-moting hasn't done well, it's just not happening for him, and he took a big knock first half on his ankle. Might have reduced his movement a little bit, which might be on the coach's mind.
Colin Dagba. Sarabia allowed to turn. Finds Dagba. Low driven cross. It's dealt with by Lamine Kone. They set out to frustrate PSG as they've frustrated so many teams in Ligue 1 so far this season. Strasbourg, they played to a 1-1 draw with Metz, a scoreless draw with Reims. Only defeat came in a 2-0 loss to Rennes. And before the international break, they drew 2-2 against Monaco. Neymar. Sarabia. Telegraphed a pass, and Verratti was quickly collapsed on. Here's Bellegarde. This will be given as a foul against Colin Dagba. He did reach out and push the 21-year-old Jean Bellegarde.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll take their time and try and keep possession from this. Strasbourg, just a little bit of a breather, a chance to get on the ball, maybe knock it along to the big man up front.
The Strasbourg team that sold one of their most influential players right at the transfer deadline, Jonas Martin, was in the prime of his career, was shipped out to Rennes, actually, for about $4.5 million.
Just it's a bit of a mistake there, isn't it, from Kurzawa? Give away the corner. You would hate for them to score from the corner when you have mishit the ball. With that big man in the box, anything's possible.
Second quarter of the match for Strasbourg. This will be Kenny Lala to deliver.
Can I say, if they score from this, he'll be in La La Land?
You can. I don't know if you should, but you can.
They didn't score, so it's a moot point.
That's overhit, and the ball turned over to Paris via throw. All eyes on Neymar. That was true before the kickoff, and it's very much so true now.
He's had some wonderful runs. He showed us some brilliant skills, but it's goals that are needed. If he can pop up with a crucial goal, they will forgive him for almost anything here at PSG.
Yet of the players on the pitch for Paris today, the players available, Neymar, both their best playmaker and their best goal scorer. An hour gone, a half hour to play in Paris. Here's Diallo getting forward. Seen on the last two spells of possession now for Paris, both of the center backs show a little bit more initiative. First, Thiago Silva getting forward to try and close down and win the ball high up the pitch. Now, Abdou Diallo getting forward to play a through ball. Just beyond the reach of choupo-moting. There's Mitrovic. Pressure applied now by Gay. The pressure leads to a turnover.
Unlike the goalkeeper, normally good from the back. Here we go, 60 minutes. Phew, I'm relieved. I kept saying he was going to come on. I thought for a moment maybe he wouldn't, but absolutely have to get him on, have to add some energy up front, and most likely choupo-moting will be the one coming off.
Di Maria left it just behind Neymar. Kenny Lala tripped up here by Idrissa Gueye. Advantage given by Delarue. It's Carroll working against Dagba. Sissoko. Mitrovic. Lamine Kone. Another Parisian. Kone, the Ivorian international, was born in Paris. It's almost as if getting forward is just an unwanted expensive energy for Strasbourg in this match.
Oh, do you feel sorry for Strasbourg? You're facing Neymar, and now you've got Icardi coming on for choupo-moting, as expected.
This is the moment.
Wow.
Icardi making his Paris debut. Icardi wearing the number 18, 26 years old now. He's been around for ages, but still just 26 when players are very much early into their primes. On loan from Inter with an option to make that loan permanent at the end of the season.
He's an amazing talent, no question about that. And why wouldn't you want to get him into your squad? And if he scores the desired goal, he'll be a hero day one. But you almost sense that Neymar needs to score as well if he's to get the crowd back on his side.
Right now, Paris don't care where the goal comes from as long as it's Matt Sells' goal. Thiago Silva. Dagba giving just enough space to deliver a cross, but keeps it on the ground. Driven in, only as far as Alexander Djikou. Corner given to Paris.
This is where I expect the pressure to ramp up with that man in the side now. It's going to give the likes of Neymar a little bit of a boost as well. They know that there's someone on the end, and that's, with all due respect to choupo-moting, but Icardi's at a different level of achievement over the past. Even Di Maria is going to be pumped up with Icardi's on the pitch.
Maria in swinger near post. It's headed away by Ajorc. Sarabia fighting for possession. Just couldn't get his balance about him to deliver a good cross.
And he'd fought free of the player, hadn't he? He got away from the defender, bought himself a little bit of time.
Get his balance about him to deliver a good cross.
Wrap his foot around it and get into the box. Neymar was waiting, as was Icardi. But now we're getting into the phase of the match where it's really going to take off for me, because Paris have to ramp it up now against Strasbourg. They've got the personnel on the pitch they really wanted there. Let's see if they can deliver.
Courzeval wins it in the air against Ajorc, but it'll stay with Strasbourg.
All we've said is going to be one of the defenders is going to pop up like Diallo or Dagba and get a foot in, but nonetheless it's the Icardi's who are going to drag the defenders around, the Neymars who are going to threaten and open up the spaces.
You see that like it's a bad thing for a defender to score.
Just they don't get mentioned, do they? Everyone's talking about the main superstars, but you're right, they would take a goal from absolutely anywhere at the moment, PSG.
Goes against Gay this time. Brings down Kedilala. Mauro Icardi, a player who doesn't need many touches to make an impact. But he's sometimes forgotten within the match because he waits in the 18. He lives, or at least pays rent, right on the offside line. When he does get a touch of the 18, he is lethal.
He is absolutely lethal, but he needs service, you're right. He's not going to come and get that ball. You have to put it in there for him. But who better to supply service than the likes of Neymar, Di Maria, players who can whip that ball, and even Sarabia. So if they give him service, guarantee you he will score.
Idrissa. Long switch is not long enough, and it stays right between Corol and Dagba. Strasbourg will have a throw. The start of a tough stretch for PSG coming back from the international break. Played today right before the midweek clash against Real Madrid in the Champions League. After that, they visit Lyon on Sunday. And then they're back here against Reims Wednesday the 25th. It's 4 games in 12 days, including that Champions League group stage debut against Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's the big one, Real Madrid. The other games, you get the sense that they've got a big enough squad to rotate, the good enough squad, but they'll want to get a win against Real Madrid. They want to post the fact that they really believe they can win this European Champions League.
Icardi.
And I wonder if Keylor Navas would like a result against his old side. Anyone that releases you, I think it's only human to want to show them they made an error and letting you go.
The thigh of Icardi. Not able to do anything with that one. Bernat and Mbappe look on.
Mbappe's thinking, if I was there, just pass me the ball, I'll accelerate past everybody and score.
It's a lovely pass forward just beyond the reach of Sarabia.
That's the one thing they do lack in this attack is someone of real pace. More like the real pace is coming from Strasbourg right now.
It was Neymar who had sent that earlier ball in for Sarabia. No foul here. The ball stripped cleanly. Here's Neymar. Just in the way that time was Lamine Kone. A little over 20 minutes left.
This is where it starts getting difficult for Strasbourg with all the extra games they've played by being in Europe. They've worked so hard here today. They've been absolutely fantastic. But can they keep it going right until the end? Are these legs going to tire? It doesn't seem like it yet. To be fair, this body's forward. They look like they almost think they can win this game. Sacrilege.
They did draw here last season. 2-2. One of only 2 times that Paris dropped points at home in Ligue 1 last campaign. Before that, you have to go all the way back to May of 2018 for their last home loss. That was against Rennes. Same side that beat them 2-1 this season, albeit away this time. Bajork is possessed, but Strasbourg quickly back in possession under Bellegarde. And plenty of space here for Simakan. A very poor touch allows Kurzawa to take it away. Idrissa. Certainly an uptick in intensity from Strasbourg, but maybe too much of it this time from Bajork, and he gets a yellow card.
God, it seems harsh because he got the ball, but these days you can't come through players in the process. Let's have a look at it again. I don't even know for me if that's a yellow card. He wins the ball. It's a bad touch from Gay. That's the modern day. Sarabia off.
So second substitution and another debut. It's Ander Herrera who's making his Parisian debut in front of the home fans as he comes on to replace Pablo Sarabia. One ex-La Liga player in for another. And this will be a double substitution as Kurzawa will also make way. And that means Presno Kimpembe will step in at left back.
Kurzawa with a bit of a knock, and think Sarabia just tired legs and getting some fresh legs through under Herrera. So the change is made for Paris now. Will it result in them getting this crucial goal?
Well, for all the big money spent by PSG in this QSI era, and they did sign Ander Herrera on a free transfer from Manchester United. Here's another ex-United, Di Maria. His shot took a deflection and safely into the hands of Sells.
It's a sore point at Manchester United, losing a player of Ander Herrera's capability and quality for no money whatsoever, but good business for PSG.
Herrera was already a highly touted player when he joined Manchester United from Athletic Club. Strong midfielder for the Basque Lions, and before that playing at Zaragoza. Now his first experience in French football. Kimpembe will be a player with a point to prove. A couple of high-profile mistakes last season. Player whose PSG career started so brightly, promoted from PSG's B team. There's Verratti. Quickly fouled was Neymar. Hit from behind, and he wins the free kick here for Paris.
Just waits for the contact, sticks his rear end out, wins it. Doesn't matter how you score, even if it's a set piece. Last week, it was a choupo-moting header from a Verratti free kick that got them a crucial goal.
By the way, while the ball's out of play, and another substitution set to be made here, will be the first change for Strasbourg. Mitya Leonard will come in to help out the midfield. They'll sacrifice the defender as Mohamed Simakan makes way. But French football setting a new transfer record this summer window. World record for income from international sales. A total of 359 players sold internationally out of the different tiers of French football for total combined $876 million. Those numbers according to FIFA's Big Five transfer window analysis report. It is a hotbed of emerging, developing talent.
It is. It's the academy for the world by the looks of it. They do have some wonderful players, don't they?
Here's Diallo. This is a Diallo's move to the left-back spot. Kimpembe is just behind him. The square ball dealt with by the Strasbourg defense.
Cardi, we saw him there. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Well, now is the time for him. The boos still continue for Neymar.
The switch between Verratti taking the corner and Neymar taking the corner. Neymar floated into your post. Leonard gets his first touch. There's Neymar working against Bellegarde. Lost him, back post. Thiago Silva was closest to it for Paris. Collected by Di Maria. Sent in diagonal cross, nearly falls for Verratti.
And he did, didn't it? That's what they're looking for. A ball in the box that doesn't get cleared properly and pounce on it. Nearly happened there for PSG.
It's rapid as pressure now from Paris. And seemed to have won the ball back, but Leonard took it away. Carroll. No casual from Di Maria. They're just allowing Carroll to get through. Sissoko. So Kenny Lala is a little bit deeper now. He fills in as that right wing back in place of the departed Simakan. Leonard demanded to replace him in midfield. Agba. It's given away to Sissoko. I'll send forward. It's the center back Lamine Kone getting in behind. There's no Kimpembe. This is promising. Navas keeps it out, denying a short for the third time today.
Great save from Keylor Navas. Absolutely crucial. What a good counter-attack from Strasbourg. Beautiful ball in. Jork with the effort there. And it's so well saved by the keeper, who's had to come to PSG's rescue 2 or 3 times in this match. Probably more, to be fair, than the visiting goalkeeper, Matt Sells, has had to do.
You don't expect that running behind from the center back, but there it was. And here he comes, Neymar into the area. Neymar shot denied by Sells. And this match has sprung to life. Bellegarde knocks it wide. Leonard gives it away. Here's Di Maria chasing it down.
There's a high boot there from Di Maria. Referee doesn't like it. Wow, excitement both ends of the pitch. Look at this. Kone absolutely brilliant, gets through. This ball is spot on. And the big man gets it on target. Ajorc. Keeper comes up trumps with a fantastic save. And that's not the first time in this match that Keylor Navas has saved PSG. And it came down the other end, and Neymar, lovely run. Could he have done more? No. Give the keeper credit. Great save from Matt Sells.
Well, it's not the first or the second for Navas. It's the third, and all three have been from the big center forward, Ludovic Ajorc, who's been the danger man for Strasbourg. And I asked you earlier in the contest, it's hard to quantify, but how many points is Keylor Navas worth over the course of a season? Here's Thiago Silva. Di Maria. That slipped through past Verratti into Neymar. Sissoko took it away.
Good pressure here from PSG.
Ibala trying to shield the ball. It's a good, strong tackle from Gay. It is given as a foul. It's a long way away from the action that time. The referee Omari De La Rue will have another substitution here.
He wins the ball. Does he take the player first? In the referee's opinion, the answer is yes. Here's this Neymar chance. You've got to give Matt Sells credit here. He's knocked it high to go over the keeper, and it's hit the keeper's shoulder and head, and that's an excellent save from the Strasbourg keeper.
Well, Ajorc had three chances, all three denied by Keylor Navas on his PSG debut, and now comes the South Africa international Lebo Motiba to replace Ajorc.
It's fresh legs, always a danger if you're Keylor Navas.
This plays passed by Verratti, who was trying to find Di Maria. There's a bit of space here for Thomasson to operate. Early cross in back post for Motiba. Needed a more accurate delivery for the newcomer.
So the goalkeeper's playing a crucial part in this game, on both of them coming up with vital saves.
You would point that out, wouldn't you, former Manchester United goalkeeper Gary Bailey?
You've got to give credit where credit's due, and Keylor's really won over the fans straight away, and Matt Sells will get a pat on the back from his teammates if they end up drawing 0-0, because that was a fantastic save from Neymar.
Thomasson making inroads here. Kenny Lala getting forward on the wing. Lala slipped into the edge of the six, and that's shouldered away by Thiago Silva. Suddenly a wide open game down the final stretch. All left behind Neymar, he never spotted it.
Frustrating, isn't it, for him? He's been so sharp. He's had one great chance we saw a couple of minutes ago. Matt Sells saved. He's had a couple of long-distance shots, some fantastic runs, brilliant bits of skill. You'll probably think of that as a decent day's performance, but he had to give a hell of a lot more to win over these fans. It's not enough for them to be back on his good side, or for him to be on their good side.
Well, the offside flag is up this time against big Ibrahima Sissoko.
I think most players would dream of putting in a performance like Neymar has today, some of the tricks and skills he's shown. And yet the dislike, I won't call it hatred, but the dislike from the PSG fans still continues with the boos.
All that aside, I think Neymar's also conditioned us to expect the impossible. There's Kimpembe. Season debut for Presnel Kimpembe in Liga. Icardi. Verratti. Final 10 minutes of normal time.
They're just camped outside the box, aren't they? Just probing here. PSG, is this it? No.
Flung forward. He spotted Neymar Di Maria. Just couldn't get the right service in.
They're looking for some way to unlock the Strasbourg defense. They've gone wide and tried to whip a few in. They're going over the top, but the pressure is building.
Got numbers forward now. Trouble is Strasbourg have just as many numbers back. Idrissa Gueye. Falls through from Mauro Icardi. First sight on goal for Icardi, and sliding in to deny it was Lamine Kone.
I thought that was the moment. Icardi on the end of the ball, inside the box. Just takes it wide. Good defending from the big man, Kone. I thought that was the moment that he was going to say hi and welcome to the PSG fans, ever so close.
Harris have to keep the pressure on. Now Carroll. That's the launch toward 1v1 here is Bellegarde. Colin Dagba stands his ground. Looks a little shaken up. But there is no substitutions left for Paris, and Dagba might have just felt his hamstring here.
He did stretch, didn't he? And there was a collision at the time that he stretched. Difficult to say exactly what happened there as Bellegarde and him clashed. Let's just hope it's nothing serious. But you're right, if he can't get back up and playing, looks like it's a hamstring on the right back of the right leg, but if he can't play, then they're down to 10 men.
There was no contact with that right leg or the right hamstring, and so and speculate perhaps that he just felt that maybe pop and had to pull up.
And even when you're injured, the focus still on Neymar. Here's that chance for Icardi on the right-hand side. Normally hits him a little bit quicker sometimes. He just wanted to steady himself. Good tackle coming in from Kone. They've been fantastic, Strasbourg. You've got to give them credit. They've defended really well. They've worked hard. They've closed down the gaps. A big concern for the ownership and Leonardo as they try and plan the future for PSG.
Well, today a chance to look at a lot of the pieces brought in by Leonardo. Keylor Navas among them. Pablo Sarabia from Sevilla.
Under Herrera, we haven't seen him.
Abdou Diallo brought back to Ligue 1, former Monaco man. Signed from Borussia Dortmund. Under Herrera making his Ligue 1 debut today as well. And of course, Mauro Icardi off the bench. Here's Verratti. His uniform shows his contribution, doesn't it all?
Always does.
He's a dirty player on the pitch.
He's a fighter, little Verratti. He gives you 100% every game. That's why other clubs have tried to pry him away from Paris, but unsuccessfully so.
Neymar. Ander Herrera. Looking to find Neymar again. Brought down expertly by the Brazilian. Neymar on his right. Oh, he tried to take on the entire defense by himself and maybe just needed one more touch.
Nearly did take them on, didn't he? Chance again.
That's poked away by Lala. Sarabia shot under the Herrera. It's parried wide. And Matt Sells refusing to be beaten.
And the Herrera could see his name in lights as well. Once again, Matt Sells with another fantastic save to deny PSG. Now the fans are getting excited. They can smell this goal coming.
You can see why Matt Sells was Strasbourg's fans player of the year last season.
Look at that strike. That is going in. That is a really, really good strike from under Herrera. It takes a bit of a deflection, to be fair, which makes it even more difficult for the goalkeeper.
Meanwhile, third and final substitution for the visitors, and this will be the season debut of Sanjin Percic. 25-year-old central midfielder born in France, but Bosnia-Herzegovina international. Swung in near post. That was dangerous as it pinged off of two Strasbourg players. Appealing for a handball, there's nothing given there. VAR will take a look.
Yeah, referee saying wait, wants to see what happened. Just look at it again. Ball comes in.
Appears to strike Dimitri Leonard in the head.
It's more in the head. His arm was up, and it was very close to a handball, but I think it hits him mostly in the head. Oh, does it?
That's a money shot there, isn't it? It clearly strikes the arm, the wrist of Leonard, and it is up away from the body by the letter of the law. That very well should be a penalty.
Wouldn't this be a disaster for Strasbourg? Defended with their lives, and a ricochet off a post and hits Leonard in the sort of arm and then face. If that's given as a pen, it's really harsh. It might be by the letter of the law.
Well, that's just it. In an attempt to try and make the rule more black and white, they've also, in some scenarios, made it less fair.
Yeah.
Because if intention is ruled out altogether, which it is, and it looks like they're going to keep this one playing. No penalty, no handball in the view of the VAR official, Jerome Miguel Gori.
I think that rule is more strictly applied to strikers. If it touches their hand at any point during the scoring of a goal, then that goal is disallowed. perhaps a little more leeway on defenders, and rightly so. So, correct decision.
Maybe in the way it's applied, but not in the way it's written. Neymar. That one poked away. Settled by Kimpembe. It's turned by Fresno. Kimpembe. Diallo. Verratti dropping a little deeper. Instead of the final 4 minutes of normal time. Verratti dropping a little deeper. Here's Di Maria. Quickly back in for Andre Herrera. Verratti. Neymar. Once again, trying to take on 3 defenders. Neymar, Icardi, not on the same page. So he made the run into the area. Verratti turns into traffic.
Defending again, isn't it, from Strasbourg? Look at the way they get those bodies behind the ball, the work ethic. It's absolutely brilliant.
Neymar keeps the ball moving. Here's Herrera. Now Di Maria from the edge of the area. Scoop toward Neymar at the edge of the 6. And there's Kone again to deny Neymar.
As they have done throughout this match. There's still a few minutes left. These tired men in blue are going to have to keep going. Whatever injury time there is as well.
Catapulted forward by Verratti, looking for Icardi. Marked closely by the captain, Mitrovic.
It's going to be a knock for PSG if they do draw this match, but in the greater scheme of things, you still expect them to go on and win the title. Just brings up question marks about this team's ability to win Europe. People will say, well, if you can't beat Strasbourg at home, how are you going to beat Real Madrid at home and other top sides? But it could be a whole different team we see on Wednesday, and a whole different approach and attitude and energy level.
The truth is, the nature of modern football, the super clubs, the Parises, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, all judged by a handful of games, 7, 8 games, and they all happen in the latter half of the season.
It's true.
Verratti. Going to be a creative force now, Verratti. There's Diallo, the early cross toward the penalty spot. Neymar attacked it. It falls for Di Maria. Goal bound. Sells keeps it out. Oh, he didn't strike it as cleanly as he would have liked on him, Di Maria. Another chance goes begging for Paris.
Yeah, it wasn't a full strike, was it? It was a quick one. He just unleashed it. Bounces first. Keeper body and hands behind the ball. Makes a comfortable save. Probably one of the more comfortable ones, but an important one nonetheless.
It's up from Percic to get past his marker. Now the long switch to Carroll out wide. And wouldn't this be the moment for Strasbourg to strike? 90th minute at Parc des Princes.
And I wouldn't be able to say they didn't deserve it, because they have defended really well. They've made Keylor Navas produce a few really good saves. They've had a fantastic game. Here we go.
And here they come. The shot just wide. That's the first non-short shot from Strasbourg. It was the defensive midfielder Bellegarde getting forward. Paid off by Motiba.
Here they come again. PSG trying to keep that pressure going and see if they can just find the elusive gap. That's a yellow card.
And Verratti slides in and now goes against him. It could be a yellow as well. He's already picked up 2 yellows this season. Yeah, it should be the 3rd.
It should be boot up, missed the ball. No question, that's a yellow card. And in some cases, referees could be sterner, but hopefully not here.
Delarue taking apparently a very lenient view of it.
That's very confusing that some referees would give that, most referees would give it, and then you don't give it. It's an inconsistency that confuses players.
Meanwhile, 4 minutes added on will play until at least the end of the 94th.
Now it's just a case of winding the clock down if you're Strasbourg. Not that they haven't been trying to do that as Mbappe and company look on, but now it's a case of making sure that you take as much time as possible, including passing back to the keeper.
Sells, raffles it forward and falls for Kimpembe. All of the subs exhausted. First came back from the international break. This wedged in between the break and the Champions League debut for PSG. Verratti spotted the run of Icardi. Wide for Diallo. Good cross to the center. And Neymar! That's how you announce yourself back at the club. A spectacular goal from Neymar. Stardust football from the world's most expensive footballer, and it may have just won it for Paris.
It's won it for Paris, no doubt, and it's won the crowd over. We said he had to score. Didn't mean one of the best goals we've seen all season. Absolutely brilliant. The pressure paid off. But that is pure genius to finish that. Get it in off the post. Nice build-up. Icardi involved as well. But, oh, this is true brilliance from Neymar. And now it goes from dislike to indifference straight away, no doubt, and perhaps even a bit of love for the man. That is magical. Took a long time coming, over 90 minutes, but it was well worth the wait.
My goodness, he did not disappoint. Icardi didn't have any options inside, so Diallo with the cross in. Neymar has to adjust, and what a strike that is.
He has to go back to go and fetch it. Look, he's got to go back, whip that left foot around it. Get the strike, comes a little bit off the shin, off the post, and then that's the only way he's going to beat Mats Sels. Mats Sels has been brilliant all day. But the agility, the knowing where the goal is, the brilliance to get on the end of that. He turns because he knows he's caught it perfectly. And there you go. Thank you, crowd. You can stop booing me now. I'm back.
Well, you can cheer him, but you cannot take your eyes off of him. Neymar, sensational. It's Paris 1, Strasbourg 0.
And in the middle of all this, spare of thought for Strasbourg had got themselves into injury time level.
And here's Neymar once more looking for Icardi, trying to dummy it through for Di Maria. Still Icardi. Ball loose, still in the 18. Mitrovic gets it out, and this will be a throw for Paris.
Icardi knew Di Maria was behind him. He was trying to leave that for Di Maria. Didn't quite work out, but again, poor old Strasbourg. You get to the 90th minute level. You've made Keylor Navas make a few really good saves, and Thomas Tuchel will be delighted, but the Strasbourg coach will be absolutely gutted that his team got so close. Thierry Lory.
A weak effort that time from Icardi as he turned and fired against Sels. Well, the way Sels had been playing, it was going to take something special to beat him. That was something special.
Is this a second yellow coming up? Oh, it's the first yellow.
Yeah, it's the first yellow.
I was going to say, it should have been a yellow for the other one. He's lucky. Verratti, we wouldn't want to see him getting sent off, so one yellow is enough. But the headlines are going to be Neymar. Neymar is back. And they might ignore Keylor Navas's good saves under Herrera's strike that the keeper brilliantly saved, and Icardi's debut, because that goal was out of this world, and he is an out-of-this-world player. Here we go, we get to see it again. Had to go back, reach out with his left foot, hook it over his body, in off the post. Brilliant!
Verratti very on brand. 5 games in, 3rd yellow card of the season. Still a chance here for Strasbourg to try and pull back an equalizer, but not much time. And it's Icardi leading the way now for Paris. Sent forward for Di Maria. They're on the break 2v1. It's Di Maria with Neymar in support. Neymar for a brace. Neymar! He gets his second!
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant again. Will the goal stand? That's my only question mark. Was it offside when Di Maria went through? We're going to have to wait and see. But Neymar, 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. The crowd were booing him. Then it went to indifference. It's got to go to love now, because these are 2 crucial saves. Now, is he off?
He looks on.
Oh, he could just be on. Beautiful ball from Icardi, and that's the value Icardi brings you. He's a great player. Di Maria plays in a ball to another great player, Neymar, and he makes no mistake. Happy days amongst the PSG locker room. Welcome back, Mr. Neymar.
Oh, the front page of L'Equipe read, it'll be a long road to redemption. It'll be a little shorter if he's scoring goals 2 by 2.
Much, much shorter. But we just wait to see if he was off. Oh, could it be an arm? Could it be a shoulder, perhaps, of Di Maria? Hard to see.
Looks level, but they do have the technology in the VAR room to make absolute sure, and they're sure that it's off.
Oh, what a pity. But the crowd love it anyway. As long as Paris win, they will remember this as a day when Neymar returned in all his glory.
Well, there is the full-time whistle. It was A brave performance from Strasbourg. They contained Paris for much of the game, but brilliance from Neymar. It was going to take something special to break the deadlock. He provided it. Paris won, Strasbourg 0. Neymar is back.
He certainly is back. One of the best goals you'll see in a long, long time. And yep, it was hard work. They know it. You can see Di Maria's face there. And credit to Strasbourg for making it so difficult.
With 12 points.
Brilliant.
Paris now top the Ligue 1 table provisionally, and it's Neymar's goal that fires them in the first. For Gary Bailey, I'm Andres Cordero. Thanks for watching the Ligue 1 on beIN Sports.
Coming up.
These are my people. These are the ones who will reach for the stars.